Welcome to Dr. Todd Talks. I've been watching a really interesting TV show lately called Adolescence. It's on Netflix. It's a pretty hot TV show right now. And man, it has gotten me to think about a lot of things. It makes you wonder what it's like to be a teenager nowadays, the influence that social media has on teenagers. It got me thinking about this teenage boy. The story is centered around a teenage boy, what it's like to be a boy with a father, what's okay to talk about emotionally. It got me thinking about parenting and communication and connection and emotional safety. And it brings me back to this concept of what it's like to be emotionally connected, because I think the end result in a story like this could have been so much different if this boy had what I would define as a real, true emotional connection in his family. And the parents were very well meaning. It's not like they were neglectful. In my experience, when I talk to parents about emotional connection, I'll ask parents, do you have that? Do you feel a sense of emotional connection with your child? And a lot of people will say yes. But a lot of times, I don't think we know necessarily what that means. And there's a lot of us that know we don't have it, but definitely don't know how to get to it. And so here's what I think. And I think it's so important because I really think it is a cure for so many ailments in our society today and so many ailments with our kids. If you're emotionally connected with your child, it means they're going to talk to you. They tell you what's going on in their lives. They see you as safe. You're not somebody who just always is trying to tell them what to do. That, you'll listen to them. You'll connect with them without trying to control anything else. The reason this is important to me, I've noticed for a long time in my professional work, kids and parents are not connected. In fact, I have seen over the last 15 years, they have become increasingly disconnected, and parents don't know how to reach their kids. In fact, I think this is one of the hardest and most heartbreaking challenges that we face as parents. It's that feeling that no matter what you do, you just can't seem to reach your child anymore. It's really painful. And I've experienced it myself as a dad. I experience it myself as a therapist. I'm not the dad of these kids, but I'm definitely trying to connect with them. But as parents, we feel our kids pulling away and we want to fix it somehow. We want to maybe say the right thing to bring them back. But here's the truth. You don't reach a child by pulling harder or pushing harder. You reach them by meeting them exactly where they are. And today, I want to show you exactly how to reach them when you feel like they're out of your reach. I want to show you what this really means and how you can start doing it in a way that will really build a connection with you and your child. So back to the TV show Adolescence. There's a scene, I think it's in the second episode. The police officer, the detective, Luke Bascom is the name of the character. He's struggling to connect with his son. His son has been bullied. His son looks lonely. His son's name is Adam. And you can tell that they have a distant, disconnected relationship. It's awkward for them to even talk to each other. And then right as in the middle of this episode, there's a shift that happens. And Adam, the son, approaches his dad because he's trying to teach his dad about social media. It's obvious that dad doesn't understand social media. And instead of lecturing this police officer, this father, he usually lectures, but instead of lecturing, he does something different. He just listens and he lets Adam be the expert, even though, this is a world that he doesn't understand. And they have this little interaction with each other. And then as the scene progresses, they're outside of the school. And dad says to his son, Adam, hey, let's go grab some chips and a Coke. It was nothing fancy. It was just a really simple, it would be like me saying, let's go get a burger and a Coke. And what was cool about this is that you can see this dad trying to step into Adam's world. He's trying to show up just to do something and engage with his son in some simple way, chips and a Coke. And, he lets Adam choose where to go. They had this little sort of funny banter about it, but he allowed Adam to sort of choose where they're going to go get their chips and the Coke. And it's a simple example of how this dad was trying to meet his son where he was. It's not the grand gestures that matter the most. It's not the big vacations that we take our kids on. It's these small little choices where we try to step into their emotional space and meet them where they are. I'll just give you a little personal example. Yesterday, I was looking at some, Facebook shows you old photos, anniversary photos, and there were all these photos of me and my son, who now has left the home. He's off serving a mission for his church, and so I'm not going to see him for 2 years. So I miss him. And he's looking. I'm looking at these photos of us dirt biking, and these go back years. And it was a time when we began dirt biking with each other. I did not want to go dirt biking. I was. It was a time where I was trying to connect with him, but I was going about it the wrong way. I wanted to connect with him through golf. That's how I connected with my dad and my grandfather when I was little. Golf was definitely a way that I stayed close to both my dad and my grandfather. And I tried to do this with all my kids, but none of them wanted to play golf. He definitely didn't want to play golf. And it became obvious to me pretty quickly this was not going to be a way we were going to get connected. And so I asked him what he wanted to do, and he said he wanted to ride dirt bikes. And again, he's an active kid, and I did not want to do this. I'm in my 50s. I had never really ridden the dirt bike before, not much anyways. And but it was me sort of going to meet him. It was meeting him where he is, where he was. And when we meet our kids where they are, when we find any kind of creative way, whether it's something big like dirt biking or something small like taking our kids out for a burger and a Coke, that's the way we can connect with them. That's the way we are safe and they want to open up to us. And so we have to find things that they're interested in. And so there's a mindset that I want you to be aware of when you're trying to meet your child where they are. And the mindset is simply that you'll do anything to to meet them. You'll do anything to meet them where they are. And I'll give you a crazy example. Many years ago, I was an outpatient therapist and I saw kids and teenagers in therapy all day, every day. And there was a family that came to see me. I saw all of their kids in therapy at some point, but this one daughter, I could not connect with her. She was anxious and shy, and actually, she was pretty awkward. She was really sensitive, very bright, but pretty aloof, and I just couldn't connect with her. And I had begun to tell parents this isn't working, and I just kind of think that you're wasting your money having her come see me because we're not making any progress. I certainly can't connect with her. And we had what I was viewing as probably our last therapy session. And she shows up to the therapy session with these like pet rats. And I kind of freaked me out. I don't view rats as pets. I view them as pests. I'm not a rat person. I don't want to hold your rat. I don't want to see your rat. But she loved her rats, and they were her pets, and they were her dear pets. And she was actually really tender with them. And then she said to me that her rats like to sleep in the back of her shirt, and that they'd probably like to sleep in the back of my shirt. And now she's looking at me, and it's obvious that the only appropriate response for me is let these rats climb down the back of my shirt. And again, this is kind of freaking me out. I'm way, way out of my comfort zone, but I can't connect with this kid. And so honestly, out of pure desperation, I let her put these rats in the back of my shirt against my skin. And they went all the way down to my waist where my shirt was tucked in. They were squirming around. It was freaking me out, but then they fell asleep. And they slept for the whole rest 45 minutes. And so now I'm sitting there with this girl, and we're now talking about things. There's something about what I did for her that opened her up, and we're talking about things that we had never talked about before. We're actually making a connection. And quick side note, this was a long time ago, like 25 years ago. Actually recently heard from her. It's maybe a year ago I heard from her. She's now, I don't know, late 30s. And she reached out to me because she wanted to tell me that I was the only therapist that ever really understood her, which just blew me away. And in part, I attributed this to the rats. And so obviously I share the story with you because the mindset that we want to have is that we will do anything to meet them where they are. And I want to be clear. We're not trying to fix them. We're not being their cheerleaders and telling them how awesome they are. We're not telling them to snap out of whatever they're struggling with. We're going to them we're walking down into that sort of emotional valley where they're standing, we're joining them. And so when your kid is struggling or hurting or pulling away, you don't just stand up there at the top of the mountain shouting advice to them. You walk down to where they are, you sit beside them. And with your presence, you just say, I'm here. You're not alone. You're not trying to teach. You're not trying to fix. You don't have an agenda. You are just simply there to connect. Now, I don't mean that we're passive. Meeting them where they are is actually a really active, powerful way of being. You lean in, you pay attention, you set aside your discomfort, you don't zone out, you're not planning your next speech. You just are basically sitting with them and letting them know that you matter to me more than anything else. And I'm here for you. And I'm not just here to try to change you. I'm just here to be with you. I want to have a relationship with you. And this is how we do it. So here's some practical things I want you to think about. Do something with them that they want to do. This has just been the key for me as a parent and as a psychologist. And with my son, we did dirt bikes, did not want to do them. It was very uncomfortable to me. And now I look back at these photos that I saw on Facebook yesterday, and it is nothing but these fond memories. I am so glad I went out of my comfort zone and did that with him. I just look at these photos that we took up in the mountains while we're dirt biking. And honestly, I am so grateful that I did that. I think it played a large role in the relationship that we have today. But do anything with them. I know a dad who his son was into anime, and so he did that with him, or played Minecraft with him, or played video game. It doesn't matter. You could do simple things. With some of my kids, if we went for a drive, even if it was just to the store, or if it was long enough that, more than 5 or 10 minutes, all of a sudden they're talking to me. And I couldn't get them to talk if I necessarily tried, but just by being there with them, they kind of open up their world to you. So step into your child's world, learn about their passions, even if you don't like them, even if you don't enjoy them. Just use little bits of time. This connection is not made in grand events. It's made in these little moments of connection where you're with them and you're meeting them where they are. So back to the show Adolescence. There's so many things that we could say about this show. Could this boy have been changed if his well-meaning parents had found more effective ways to be connected to him? Yes, I think it could have. Obviously, this is a TV show, but it reflects real life. I see really bad things happening nowadays, even to the severity of school shooters. And I always look at these kids that do these horrific acts. And again, this is an extreme example, but I know they had no connection at home with their peers. These were lonely, isolated kids. And so I really believe that connection brings about all those things you want as a parent. It brings about the communication. It actually brings about compliance in some ways when you're wanting certain and hoping and expecting certain behaviors from them. Again, my challenge for you is I want you to find one way to meet your child where they are. Find something they're interested in and then go do it. Go for a drive, play a game. It doesn't really matter to them. But just remember to choose connection over comfort, because that's where real influence and real parenting begins. Now, if this was helpful to you, please like it, subscribe, and share it with somebody that you think could benefit from it. I appreciate you being here today, and I will see you next time.